Mahane Yehuda, the camp of Judah, known as the Shuk in Hebrew, it's Jerusalem's most famous market, and like so many other places in the city, there's nothing ordinary about it. Here we are in the city of Jerusalem.
Absolutely.
About to cross a very well-known, historically known, Jaffa Road. About a mile and a half down the road is the old city's Jaffa Gate. In the late 1800s, a few brave Jews established homes here, a long way from the protection of the city walls.
Today, you would never even imagine such a thing, but when they moved out of the old city, they were moving to these secured kind of neighborhoods. And that's why the name of the market is called Mahane Yehuda. It's named after that neighborhood that was built in 1887.
Jaffa Road connects Jerusalem to the Mediterranean seaport at Jaffa, considered by some the oldest harbor in the world.
Who would have been on this road in the recent history? Someone like General Allenby. When he came and conquered this from the Ottomans, 1917, Theodore Herzl came down this road. But when we think really old, really ancient, do you realize that the cedars from Lebanon that were imported by David and then Solomon, they had to come from Jaffa into Jerusalem? Now, we don't know exactly the route they took, but this was the main artery. It certainly hasn't disappeared off the face of the earth. It's had a transformation. Now it's a pedestrian mall with a beautiful European light rail going through it.
My wife Nedra and I joined Hannah Ben Haim on a walk through the Shuk on a busy Friday as shoppers prepared for the Sabbath.
It's Shabbat, and we have to buy challah. Challah is the braided Shabbat bread, and it comes in several different styles. One is sweeter than the other. Do we want it with raisins and sweet, or do we want it without raisins? Okay, we want the tsimukim. And traditionally, you would buy two of them, because on the Friday, when the children of Israel were in the desert, they always had a double portion, right? Let's go find some olives.
One spicy olive.
That's good and spicy.
Of course, the olive is part of the symbol of Israel.
Yeah.
We have the menorah with the two abbreviated branches from Zechariah 4. Not by might, not by power. But aren't these delicious?
They're good.
So let's keep going down. Look at, isn't it beautiful? Look at
Everything.
these.
Look at this.
And they're organic.
Dozens of countries and cultures are represented in the Shuk, brought here by Jews returning to the land from more than 100 countries. An Iranian Jew started a spice shop in Jerusalem in 1953 and later moved here to the Shuk. Today, his grandsons still run the shop.
All the mixes is the same, like the grandfather. Everything I grind here.
And you do all the mixtures yourself?
Before, I mix all this. This for rice, cheese, salad. This is pistachio, onion, and mixed spices. It's mixed for rice.
So 3 generations mixing spices and selling spices here in Jerusalem from Iran.
An estimated 200,000 people visit the Shuk each week. Rich and poor, young and old, religious and secular, as well as Jews and Arabs, shop in the market. But it's had its share of tragedy, too. Yeah.
Well, this is what I came to show you. That says remember, to remember.
July 30, 1997. Suicide bombers killed 16 people here and wounded almost 200. Terror attacks in the market virtually destroyed business, so the municipality reinvented the Shuk to make it one of the trendiest places in the city.
How are we going to encourage people to come back here? So the new floors and the new ceilings, and even though it doesn't look very brand new to you, and also the openness to so many different other kinds of shops and restaurants, bistros, even nightlife is here.
It's obviously been very successful.
So you see, all things work together for good. This tragedy brought new life. We haven't even seen a tiny fraction of this Shuk yet. And this is called the Iraqi market. So we're going down this way now.
More than 250 vendors sell everything from fruits and vegetables to gourmet cheeses, nuts, and special boutique items like flavored tahina and halva. And some of the best restaurants in the city are here.
This is very open kitchen. Come see.
Yes.
This is a lamb.
Lamb.
We like lamb.
Very good. It's spicy.
We ate at the Zura restaurant, started by the owner's father in 1952, with traditional Turkish and Iraqi food. It's so amazing the abundance of food that's here. I mean, the tomatoes are like that, and the variety of food. One religious Jew summed up the Shuk for us. He said, if you want to talk to God, go to the Western Wall. But if you want to see God at work, go to the Shuk. And that's exactly what we saw. Scott Ross at Mahane Yehuda Market in Jerusalem.